So let's be real for a second. If you're running a business today, you've probably felt it. The old rules for growth, they just don't cut it anymore. We are in a totally different economic world now, which means we need a completely new playbook. So let's break down exactly what that looks like.
To really get why things are so different, we gotta look back a bit. After the 2008 financial crisis, corporate growth basically hit a brick wall. It slowed down to half its previous speed. And that slowdown means that just surviving, let alone actually thriving, requires a fundamentally new way of thinking about creating value. Okay, so what is this new way of thinking? Well, based on some really deep research into what separates the winners from everyone else, we've basically distilled a new three-part playbook for growth. It all boils down to three huge questions: knowing where to play, how to win, and having the right tools to make it all happen.
Let's start with the first and, arguably the most critical question. Where is future growth actually going to come from? The whole landscape has shifted under our feet, and the biggest opportunities are now packed into a few very specific areas.
These high-growth spots are called arenas. Now, don't think of these like your classic old-school industries. Think of them more like dynamic ecosystems. And here's the kicker. These 18 arenas are growing at an incredible pace. We're talking 2.5 times faster than the rest of the economy. That's a whole different league.
To really get your head around the difference, there's this brilliant analogy from Harry Potter. It compares traditional industries to muggles, right? They just follow the same old established rules. But these high-growth arenas, they're the wizards. They operate with a completely different set of rules. It's like they're making their own magic.
And the scale of this magic is just mind-bending. By 2040, the combined revenue potential of these 18 arenas is projected to be $48 trillion. Yeah, you heard that right. 48 trillion. It's a staggering number.
So what are these magical arenas? Well, what's so cool is how diverse they are. You've got these huge familiar fields like electric vehicles and semiconductors, but then you also see these emerging powerhouses like the commercial space industry, biotech, and even really specific areas like drugs for obesity. Each one is a critical piece of this new growth map.
All right, so once you figure out the right arenas to play in, how do you actually win there? Well, the research points to 10 rules for success, but you can really boil them all down to 3 core, absolutely non-negotiable commandments.
Now, this first one might sound a little backwards, especially when we're talking about all this new growth. But it's simple. You absolutely, positively have to supercharge your core business. You just can't build a new skyscraper on a shaky foundation. And the data on this is just crystal clear. If your main business is lagging, your odds of finding real growth somewhere else are just astronomically low. We're talking a 1 in 6 chance, according to the research. A healthy core isn't just nice to have, it's the launch pad for literally everything else.
The second rule is simple, but oh so powerful. Make the trend your friend. This means you have to actively move your people, your money, and your focus away from the shrinking parts of your business and toward the tailwinds, the things that are actually growing. Companies that nail this generate 1 to 2 percentage points of higher shareholder returns every single year.
And the third rule? It's all about how you buy other companies. The data is pretty clear that those risky, big bang mergers, they often blow up in your face. The winning strategy is what's called programmatic M&A. It's a steady, consistent approach of making lots of smaller acquisitions. This builds up your team's M&A muscle and lets you step into new markets without betting the entire farm on one massive deal. So, we know where to play, and we've got the rules for how to win. The final piece of this whole puzzle is what enables all of this to happen. Think of it as the engine room. And the research shows there are 2 foundational accelerants that are absolutely essential for any modern growth strategy: talent and technology. Let's talk about people first. When you ask leaders what's really holding back their growth, the #1 answer isn't money or strategy, it's a talent and capability gap. A whopping 69% of leaders admit their organization just doesn't have the people it needs to make future growth happen. And this talent challenge, wow, it is not spread out evenly. By 2030, workers in the lowest wage brackets are a staggering 14 times more likely to have to completely switch occupations than the highest earners. This is a massive challenge for business and society that we just cannot afford to ignore. The second accelerant, and this will probably come as no surprise, is technology, with a giant spotlight on artificial intelligence. AI, especially generative AI, isn't just a tool for efficiency anymore. It is set to completely rewrite how companies create,
build, and scale their products from the ground up.
I mean, just look at how AI is getting woven into the entire product development lifecycle. It's not some add-on at the end. AI can help us discover what customers actually want, test out ideas in record time, build the product more efficiently, and even launch and scale it with super personalized marketing. It is a total game changer.
Okay, so let's bring it all home. We've walked through the arenas, the rules, and the accelerants. This all leads us to the final, most important takeaway. What's your next move?
The really amazing thing here is that the path forward isn't some big mystery anymore. We actually have a clear model for growth, and it's based on hard data from the companies that are winning in this new economic reality. The playbook is right here, on the table.
And that really just leaves one final question. This one is for you and your team to think about. When you look at your strategy, where you're putting the money, and what your people can do, are you still playing the old game by the old rules? Or are you ready to compete in the new arenas, where all the magic is actually happening?